Hello and welcome. You are watching Good Times, and with me, the one and only Mr. Anupam Kher. A fantastic trailer, and I mean the way you are metamorphosed into, the former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh. It's amazing. But apparently, you were not too keen to do the film first.
My first reaction was no. When Ashok Pandit said that to me, he called me up. He says Sunil Bohra has bought the rights of this book, and they want to cast you along with the new director. So I said, of course, I met them, and then they told me their plans. But I was not keen because for various reasons. I felt that it's a very ambitious project. Not that I was questioning their capabilities, but also I felt it's a controversial kind of a thing. किताब controversial है, क्या मैं इसमें घुसूँ? वैसे मैं बहुत बोलता रहता हूँ ज़िंदगी के बारे में, topics के बारे में. So that's all. So they said, okay, sleep with this thought, and we will get back to us whenever you can. So then one day I was watching news, and from a different perspective, from an actor's perspective, I looked at Dr. Manmohan Singh walking in that news clip. And I got a little intrigued, and I said, let me see if I can walk like him. And this is exactly how it happened. And in my own living room, I walked, and it was far, far, far from what I thought it will be, I could achieve. Basically, I was a disaster. And then I said, so the actor took over the person, and then I tried for half an hour. And I said, this will be a great challenge if I can, because at once you have done 515, 16 films for 34 years, you're basically looking for challenges. और वो इतने ज़्यादा नहीं आते हैं challenge. मैंने बहुत कुछ कर लिया है. So then I told them to send me the script. I read the script, and then I read the book, and then I told them that okay, I will need at least 7-8 months to prepare it, because I'll have to transform into Dr. Manmohan Singh. I will have to internalize the whole thing. And but it was very difficult. It was difficult because Dr. Manmohan Singh is not a very expressive person. He's a shy person, so that makes him awkward. And also, there's a very thin line between caricature and being the person. He expresses most of his emotions with the same face.
Yeah, true.
Whether it's hurt, it's disgust, it's anger, it's pleasure, it's happiness, his expression does not change. And that's very difficult for an actor like me. I'm very expressive. In real life also, I'm extrovert, I'm expressive. And so after watching for hours and hours of footage on him, the most difficult thing was his voice. Because again, I also was doing this role where I needed to prove it to myself that I still have it in me, rather than to the world. Because it is only when you challenge yourself, आपको अपने जिंदा होने का एहसास होता है. वरना मेरी दुकान तो अगले 30 साल तक चलेगी. आराम से मैं कुछ भी काम कर सकता हूँ. But that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for a possibility of a failure, because failure makes you wake up, and sort of then you take up challenges. His voice has a thinner quality, and there is a lot of air that comes out. So I again heard, I have nobody in the world in the last all these years has spoken in my ears as much as Dr. Manmohan Singh has. Because I recorded all his speeches, his press conferences, and through Bluetooth I used to keep listening to it and keep practicing it. And it's not कि हमने एक फर्मा बनाया है, एक फ्रेमवर्क बनाया है और वो बन गया है तो अब उसका हम रोज़ वही इस्तेमाल करेंगे. Emotions, performances are, one day I got it, next day I will not get it. And then we were making the film in 2 languages, English and Hindi both. So sometimes I will get it in the English language, that whole thing, and it was a sync sound film. We were not dubbing it. So I had to get it right over there. And then pre-lunch I will have panic attacks that it's not happening, then we'll take a break. Luckily we shot in a majority of the film in England, in a small village called Skipton. So there was a lot of loneliness, there was a lot of silence, and I could be Dr. Manmohan Singh 24 hours. And then finally it had to happen, and there was no alternate. It's only when there is no alternate you do your best.
Absolutely.
And I think it's worked out well. I'm very proud of the fact that I could work so much and achieve. But having said that, that cannot happen only by an actor's effort. I think my hair and makeup people have done a remarkable job. My costume girl has done a fantastic job. Director, actor, in cinema, actor is dependent so many exterior factors.
Absolutely.
On theater, once actor goes on stage, then he is the king. But why should I make it easy for myself? To me, competence is the worst enemy of brilliance. Because when you are competent, you think, हाँ लाइनें बताओ क्या करना है मैं हो जाऊंगा, and लोगों को बेवकूफ़ भी बना सकोगे. But to be brilliant, you have to have that rough edges, nervousness, and he is very difficult to portray. I've never seen, then I did a lot of research, I've never seen a single picture of Dr. Manmohan Singh where he's guffawing or like this. कोई ऐसी picture नहीं, सब ऐसी हैं. So, yet the film needed to project hurt, disappointment, triumph with the same face. And he does not also blink much. So my director will, after a shot that I have done my best, he will suddenly say, but Mr. Kher, you blinked a lot in this shot. So we'll have to do that whole thing again. So it's, yeah.
And also with the book, also when the book came out, the PMO had said that you know, it's not authentic, it's just one man's view. So were you anticipating, and now they're calling it a propaganda film, were you anticipating this kind of
of course,
reaction?
it was a controversial film, a controversial book, and the film was going to be controversial. But I never thought that they will call it a propaganda film or something like that. They will say that, yes, the Prime Minister had sort of said that it's a authentic, though it was not written by some shopkeeper from Karol Bagh. It was written by a media advisor of the Prime Minister, appointed by the Prime Minister, and he worked there for five years. And he's a very reputed journalist. He was the editor of Financial Express before he got into that job. So so there was a first-hand account of that thing. But yes, when you read the book, maybe you may not agree. But none of them did any court case on him.
Yeah.
Neither the Prime Minister, not anybody else related to what the people that he wrote about. And also the book has been in public domain for the last 4 years. The announcement of the film has been made public constantly.
True.
Every time there was a new actor being signed, it was announced, etc. But I think the trailer has triggered off somewhere the truth of anybody. The truth means it's very close to, not only with dialogues, but very close to it looking very real. So in a backhand manner, left-handed manner, it's a praise. We have today reached 50 million views of the trailer on YouTube, which is not easy thing to happen. And we have only released the trailer 7 days back. But I did expect it to happen. Certainly, we knew that. But then, just because there is a controversy going to happen, actors and artists don't sort of worry about that. It's an expression that they need to convey. And it suits people to put interpretations to it. He is a BJP MP's husband. Varun, Akshay Khanna is BJP MP's son. The father of the director was involved with BJP people, and BJP tweeted it. People like to come to easy conclusions because that's how they deal with it, that's how they live with it. And I personally feel I should not waste time and energy on defending that, because those people who have decided to think like that, I can never change their opinion. And at the end of it, it will be the film which will work. Audience does not go to see a film being a particular party member. They go to see a film even if they are going to see the political part of it.
So what are they going to take back? What can the audience expect? Because there are a lot of things that are reported.
Slice of life. It happened between 2004, and that achievement of the film, the triumph of the film is not, of course, the making of the film, and what is that today, finally, we are making a film with names of the people. We will have a look behind what happens in PMO. We will see that. They will be part of actual happenings, what happened between 2004 and 2018, or 2014. They are going to, and it's a drama. It's a Shakespearean drama. It's a to be or not to be is the situation, whether to be himself or to be what other people want him to be. But he did finish his 10 years of tenure. There's a certain amount of loneliness in him, there's a certain amount of vulnerability in him, and there's a certain amount of stubbornness in him.
So what was your reading of Dr. Manmohan Singh, since you were wearing his shoes for that period of time?
I think he's very real. And he is not, like he's an accidental prime minister, but I'm not an accidental actor.
True.
You know, so I think he was not trained to be a politician. He was a bureaucrat, an honest bureaucrat who did a lot for the economy of the country, who was chosen to be the prime minister of the country because he was the least controversial, or maybe the least ambitious, or who could be controlled. I don't think Pranab Da could have been controlled, or Pranab Da, there was a chances of this thing. Otherwise, lot of other people were seasoned politicians. He was not a seasoned politician. So all these things, I think when you see on a cinema, when you see a lonely man, your heart goes out to him. When you see a contradictory person, your heart goes out to him. When you see a well-intentional person, you want to sort of belong to him. That's the magic of cinema. If you read it in a book, and in the middle of the night, the Prime Minister crossed the corridor, went to his room, a little tired. In the book, it does not, it makes you, but when you see in a long shot, the Prime Minister walking tired and there's a piano chord doing, you feel the loneliness is real. The family discomfort is real. His wanting to do things is real. His not able to do things is not real. So that is the magic of cinema, and that's why it upsets certain people.
Is it going to break a lot of myths that we have, the audience has?
It's certainly going to be a very landmark film in Indian cinema. It's certainly going to be a film where people are actually, and aisa bhi nahi hai ki we are not blinded by, suddenly we are not having, the whole country is not having an amnesia that it did not happen. The whole country knew what was happening. He was called a remote control prime minister. He was called the most silent prime minister. There was a this India against corruption agitation that was happening about 2-3G, whatever it is, CWG, it was going on. I'm sure it was, I know that it was killing him. That here is this honest man, that he's in a situation where he's being described as a very corrupt running government. I was part of that India against corruption. I was one of the front runners in the terms of, I was there on the stage and everything like that, because I thought, even I have said not very complimentary things about him, but never I questioned about him as a person. So this is a film about the person and the Prime Minister.
Also, sir, a little ironical, because you've been always open about your political leanings, but playing the role of a person of the opposite party, was that kind of like the irony?
No, I think the actor in me is much more, no, I understand your question, but the actor in me is a seasoned actor. It means is honest to the actor that I am. In fact, to do a contradictory thing is fascinating for an actor. I have played lots of characters which I do not agree with, but that's the joy of being an actor. I have played a honest man, a corrupt man, a miser man, a lavish person, a great father, a not so great father, a controlled father. But that is, in other words, something praiseworthy. As I narrated you, my whole idea of doing this film was because it intrigued me as an actor and it challenged me. I don't have to be a certain kind of a person to sort of portray that. Means I feel he's like a Hamlet character. He's a Shakespearean, I'll not say tragic character, because he is not tragic that way, but the situation that he was in, people versus party, or the party versus PM, that is what is fascinating.
And so before we wrap up, also you do a lot of movies in Hollywood. So how's that panning out? How was life like? Busy,
I am
busy.
at the best stage of my life. I'm a newcomer in New York with a little bit of money. I am. The whole idea is to reinvent yourself. I mean, you know, the problem was, it took me a little time to recognize that people had started calling me veteran, thespian, legend, which is very complimentary. But it's also a way of them telling you that you need to retire now because we are thinking of you as a lifetime achievement award. But I think I'm far away from there. So I thought it will be interesting that I will do something which in a language which I don't think in. I think in Hindi. I don't think in English. And luckily that series that I'm doing, that New Amsterdam, has become a very big hit. It's got its full season. It started at 13 episodes. Now it's being, and my other very important film of my career, Hotel Mumbai, is releasing on 29th of March, which is about 26/11 attacks, which was premiered at Toronto Film Festival. So it's fascinating. It's lovely to wake up early in the morning and thought of do my lines while I'm buying vegetables. How many people can do that at this stage of their life? It's fascinating.
And I know you don't like the social media very much, but one thing on social media that I really...
love social media.
You do?
I love social media. I think social
and especially
media...
your Dulari with your mom.
Yes. My social media is a great platform if you don't let it affect you.
That's it. It does. It's become the bane of many people's existence. It's a negative
because
place.
yeah, but the point is that आप उससे ही नहीं उभर सकते कि आपको नेगेटिव चीज से आप हर चीज से अफेक्ट हो जाते हैं. That means you need to sort of look at yourself from a different point of view. Of course it bothers me that, और गंदी गंदी चीज़ें लिखते हैं, बकवास चीज़ें लिखते हैं, बहुत. But I must be in the line, in the profession that I am in, or not even in the profession. I must get over that fact and yet use social media to my advantage. Means from the day one, when the first clip of Dr. Manmohan Singh came, it got viral. And then every time I've introduced a new person from the film, I've just put it on my Instagram and on my Twitter. It is a way of reaching out to so many people. It's also a way to learn so many things. When you interact with the younger generation, you get to know how their mind thinks. So it works a lot towards dusting your cobwebs of your mind.
But the Dulari videos I really look forward to.
Dulari Rocks is something which was a revelation, because once she was talking to me, I started recording her, and then I put it on, and I discovered that people love her. I think it also made a little difference, 5%, to people's lives, that they have started looking at their parents from a different point of view. They are not part of the furniture. They are not as somebody you can take it for granted. And I'm blessed with having a mother who is least affected with the camera in her face almost. She still goes on and talking about it.
Her perfumes are like awesome.
Her perfume. I have to, in America when I was coming, people give me perfumes to give it to her.
Oh, so sweet.
And some of them I keep.
I hope she's listening in. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Since you're speaking to good times, what is your idea of a good time?
To be yourself is a good time. I think this whole idea कि मैं बीच पे जाके रिलैक्स करूँगा या मैं पहाड़ों में जाके रिलैक्स करूँगा और अंदर तूफान मचा हुआ है, उसका नहीं. I think people, when you have a good chat, is a good time. I'm a people-oriented person. When I meet somebody, and I also believe that happiness is something which you have to decide to be happy, and then you have to practice it. If I decide that I have to be happy and I practice for 3 months, that nothing is going to bother me, I'm going to be, you get used to it. Good times is also to be able to laugh, to be able to listen, to be able to feel sad for somebody. Good time is not only cheers, brother, which is good also, people who do that. But I think good time is to be able to connect with somebody.
Absolutely, and that's our motto also, live Indian, live young. Thank you so much, and you're the forever young actor, so thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
wonderful,
you.
Thank you.